Okay, so I wanted to get on here and do a little update. It has been almost a week since our positive pregnancy test, and we've had kind of a lot going on. I continued to test every day to see if the line would get darker since it was so light that first test we took, and it really wasn't getting much darker. So I started to get a little bit worried because everybody else that I've been talking to who transferred on the same day or, you know, within a day or two of me, who already had their positive tests, their line is way darker than mine. So I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I got like a bad box of tests, or maybe something's wrong. Like maybe my levels aren't going up. And your levels need to be doubling every 48 to 72 hours. So we started to get a little bit worried. I went in for my first blood test on Thursday, which was 4 days after our positive pregnancy test, and got my results back, and I talked to the nurse who told me that my HCG level was a 34. And I asked her if that was good, and she said that it looks fair and that I should be well over 50 at this point in my pregnancy. So that has had me really stressed out. A lot of things I've read online said that levels that low, you tend to miscarry, and that it's not a good pregnancy. So we've been really freaked out about that. And like I said, I know everybody's different and I shouldn't be comparing myself to other people, but everybody else who I transferred with, their levels are way over 100. Like, no questions about it, you know, like they're definitely pregnant. And I'm at a 34. So, been pretty upset the last 2 days, just trying to make it through until our second blood draw to see if my levels have gone up any, or if they've gone down, then that's a bad sign that I'm probably going to miscarry. So this morning I went in for my second blood draw. I just got done doing that. I'm not going to actually hear from my doctor's office today since it's a Saturday, but the lab I went to also has their own portal, and they said that they were going to update the results to the portal. So she said that that should be done in like the next 4 hours. I'll at least be able to, I guess, see what the number is. I know that it's supposed to be doubling, so if it's doubled, then it's good news. If it hasn't, then I need to talk to my doctor's office tomorrow and see what's next. What do we do? I don't know. Like I said, we were super excited, and then that happened, and so now we've been kind of like down and like upset and guarding ourselves, kind of like preparing for the worst, I guess, which is going to be super disappointing because if this doesn't work out, then I've lost 3 of my PGS embryos in one cycle. And I know PGS isn't 100%, but it is supposed to help prevent things like this. That's a little disappointing, but hopefully today's blood work comes back good and we don't have to think about that. So I took a test this morning, and it definitely looks darker than the test I did 2 days ago. I tested yesterday too, but it's hard to tell like when you test every single day because your levels don't really rise that much. So that was encouraging. That gave me a little bit of hope that it's rising, and hopefully, you know, it hasn't dropped at least. I'll go ahead and show you my tests. There's a ton of them because yes, when you've been dealing with infertility for 4.5 years, you test every single day to see if you can get a positive, when you can get a positive, and to see if your lines get any darker. So yeah, we're a little psycho with that. But my infertility girls, you know what I mean. It's hard to see like the progression now because the tests from a couple days ago have dried already. So obviously the test I did today is gonna look darker and more pink. That's our first test at the top. You can barely see the line. And I tested the next day, you could see the line a little bit better, and then on day 7, see a little bit better. And my first blood draw is that one where my level is 34. And then this is today's. So, like I said, it's hard to compare because this one's already dried and it's discolored now, but I think these tests aren't showing a drastic like increase in darkness for me, which is weird because these are supposed to be the most sensitive. But I do think that it's definitely darker. It's definitely darker than our very, very first test. So that's positive. And then, because I'm psycho and I didn't want to keep buying these because they're kind of expensive, Walmart has like 88-cent tests. 4.5 days post my transfer, I thought maybe I could see a line, but I wasn't positive. And then 5.5 days, I was like, yeah, there's definitely something there. And then I tested again on day 7, and there's definitely a line. Day 8, day 9, line got darker. Then yesterday, day 10, after I found out my HCG levels were 34, the test I took kind of looked exactly the same, maybe a little bit lighter. So that kind of freaked me out. And then this is this morning's test. Obviously it looks darker because it's wet, but definitely way darker than when we first started. So that has given me hope for today's blood work. And then I had these other tests that I ordered on Amazon when I was back a while ago when I was doing like IUIs and stuff, because these are like super cheap. And since I pee on a million tests, I'm tired of wasting my money on them. But these ones, your HCG has to be, I think, over 25. So it's kind of hard to tell since they're dry. But day 5, there was nothing. Day 7, there was nothing. Day 8, we could kind of see a hint of a line. Then day 9, we were like, yeah, there's definitely something popping up there. And then I didn't test yesterday. And then today, you can definitely see that there's a line there. It's nowhere near as dark as these other tests. So yeah, there's all of my madness for the last week. So I just thought I would give a little update so that Derek and I can remember this in the future, regardless of the outcome. And so we can update everybody and kind of let you know what's been going on this past week. And we are gonna wait around for our results later on today and hope that it's good news. So I'll go ahead and check back in when I get those results. Wish me luck. It's gonna be a rough 4 hours to get through.